Thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Rick Jordan. In just a little bit, I'm going to sing an 1896 hymn called I Surrender All. I have tweaked some of the lyrics to update it a little bit, but also to really make it even more true to what surrendering is all about. In my videos, sometimes I say that I am powered by gratitude and relinquishment. And that is true. The longer I follow Christ, the more I understand that I'm learning to let go of everything I thought I knew about relinquishment. And I think that's why this hymn is okay with me. Think about the word surrender. That's not a pleasant word. When is the last time somebody had fun surrendering? When is the last time somebody enjoyed surrendering? Definition: to surrender is to lay down all resistance and submit to another person. That's not fun. That's not enjoyable. And, we can swap out surrender for softer words like affirm or yield. But for people like me, people who suffer from first thought wrong brain like I do, if I have a chance to resist, wow, I am going to resist. And so really, surrender is the operative word for me. I find myself identifying with Paul's story in the book of Acts. He was Saul, that was his name. Later it changed to Paul. Saul was he was an ascending religious leader called a Pharisee in Jewish life. After Christ's crucifixion and resurrection, persecution broke out against the followers of Christ. And the Jewish leaders wanted to stamp out this movement before it gained momentum. And Paul was at the point of that mission to squash. It wasn't called Christianity. In fact, the practitioners of Christianity, they were Jews. They were following Jesus, who was a Jew. But yeah, they were trying to stamp it out. And Saul was very effective. Once he had legal papers, he had tons of Christ followers arrested. He actively participated in the execution of who knows how many followers of Christ. And when you think about it, that sets the bar kind of low. If Saul, who later became Paul, if he could do that and then become a follower of Christ himself, I like my chances. I like your chances. I mean, I didn't try to kill the church, did you? I like our chances. So in Acts 26, he's now Paul, and he is telling his story. He's been arrested for being a follower of Christ, and he's in Rome, and he's talking to a king, and he's telling his story. Acts 26, verse 14, and I'm going to read it in 3 different translations. He's recounting what happened to him on the road to Damascus. And if you don't know the story, he had papers to go to Damascus and have followers of Christ arrested. And on the road to Damascus, he was hit with a bright light from heaven. He was actually blinded by the light. And he was humbled. And in short fashion, he was broken and he became a follower of Christ. And lickety-split, he was proclaiming the Christ that he had been persecuting. So here in verse 14, he's telling the king about it. In the Voice translation, it goes like this. We all fell to the ground in fear, and then I heard a voice. The words were in Aramaic. Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? When you kick against the cattle prods, you're only hurting yourself. In the New Living Translation, it goes like this. We all fell down, and I heard a voice saying to me in Aramaic, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? It is useless for you to fight against my will. In the easy to read version, it goes like this. We all fell to the ground. Then I heard a voice talking to me in Aramaic. The voice said, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? You are only hurting yourself by fighting me. Let me go back, and this is Jesus talking to Saul. And I want to repeat that one phrase. When you kick against the cattle prods, you are only hurting yourself. It is useless for you to fight against my will. You are only hurting yourself by fighting me. And so it went with Saul. You know what he did? He surrendered. He laid down all resistance, and for the rest of his life, he was submitting to Christ. That's pretty much my story also. So I offer this old grand hymn to you now. Jesus, I surrender to you, all to you I freely give. I will ever love and trust you, in your presence daily live. I surrender all. I surrender all to you, triumphant Jesus, I surrender all. Jesus, I surrender to you, humbly at your feet I bow. All my stubborn ways forsaken, Jesus, you are my Lord now. I surrender all. I surrender all to you, triumphant Jesus, I surrender all. Jesus, I surrender to you. Make me more completely thine. Feelings will no longer lead me. I am yours and you are mine. I surrender all. I surrender all to you, triumphant Jesus, I surrender all. Jesus, I surrender to you. Lord, I give myself to thee. Fill me with thy love and power as your glory falls on me. I surrender all. I surrender all to you, triumphant Jesus. I surrender all. I surrender all. I surrender all to you, triumphant Jesus. I surrender all. Amen.